Welcome back to another quick play football game. My name is Brian Hafferkamp. I'm the designer of quick play football. I'm probably going to start using that name for this game. It's based off of the quick play sort of game engine and system that I use for quick play baseball, which you can check out at onbasebaseball.com. Right now, we are in the first quarter of a game from 2022, Baltimore at Chicago. And a couple of scores here. 7-3 is our score. Baltimore took the first drive straight down the field. And kind of a lightning strike, 2-minute and 15-second score. Sorry, let me set my time here. And Chicago came right back, took it from their own 20, and got it down to the 31, kicked a 48-yard field goal. Nice long drive, time of possession, 5 minutes and 15 seconds, and now Baltimore is set to receive the kickoff. I'm going to use this as my first down marker. So the way we do this is we look at our kickoff chart, and we go and flip the offense card, and ace of hearts is cross-referenced here. That's going to be a touchback, and I realize I don't have a pen, so it's going to be, let's see if this one will work. So it's going to be 1st and 10 for Baltimore at their own 20-yard line, and it'll actually be 4 minutes. I think I counted for the kickoff, so yeah, that would have put me at 5:15, so it should be 5 minutes with the kickoff. Okay, so what we're going to do is just keep rolling here. I'm going to make sure that I do my card shovels off camera, so maybe that'll speed things up just a little bit. So Bears with the ball, 1st and 10. 3 of clubs is going to go off of the defensive side for the Ravens. So anything that's a club or a spade goes to the defense. So this is going to be a 3 of clubs. That's going to be a rush to the defense. So we pull off the defensive pile. And then we look at their rushing chart, which is here. So a 2 of spades for the defense is going to be a big play opportunity. So now we're looking here at the defense on the rushing side. A 9 is gonna be a fumble with and the line of scrimmage is going to be the line of scrimmage +3. So we had started here, and so right away Baltimore fumbles, and so that's only going to take 30 seconds off the clock. So just like that, Chicago gets the ball deep in Baltimore territory. They're going to take over at the, so line of scrimmage +3 is the 23. So they're going to take over at the Baltimore 23 with 4.5 minutes left in the first quarter. So since we didn't take very many cards, I'm just going to kind of do this right here. I only took a couple of cards for each team. Probably not going to get down to those cards. You can go ahead and shuffle if you want. If not, don't worry about it. So 1st and 10 from the Baltimore 23. Chicago now we're looking at. So a queen of clubs. I did play that badly because I was looking on the wrong team, but it is still a big play either way. All right, it is still a rushing play. It is still a big play. I don't feel so bad. Okay, so now we're looking on the defense off of Baltimore. All right, I really need a token like who has the ball, right? Maybe I should do that. That way I can know who's on offense. So a queen of clubs is going to be a pass. So this is a pass to the defense. And we look on their passing chart, a jack, either a heart or a diamond. A jack is going to be a +11. So 10, 11, be 1st and 10 at the Baltimore 12. This is going to be a rush. So you can see here it's a rushing play to the offense. And so we look at their rushing chart, and a 6 of either clubs or spades is going to be a +4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And now we have first and second and 6 from the 8. This is going to be a 2 of spades, so that's a sack for the Ravens. Excuse me. And we turn over our card and we look at our sack chart to see how many yards were lost. So a 10 of hearts is going to be a -2. So that pushes them back to the 10. We're going to take off a full 30 seconds. Brings up 3rd and 8. So again, this goes to the Ravens. This is going to be a rush to the defense. A 10. Black 10 is going to be +5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Brings up 4th down and 3. And we're going to go ahead and kick the field goal here. So it'll be a 22-yard try. The Bears have a field goal rating of 1. So they'll be looking at this first chart. If they roll a 2, then it's a miss. Otherwise, it's a make. And it is good. So the field goal attempt is from 22 yards. And it is good. And that takes us down to 2 minutes and 15 seconds. So it's 2:15 on the drive. And the score is 7-6 now. So Baltimore will get the ball back. So the Ravens defense has done a good job of holding. They've been able to hold the Bears to a couple of field goals so far. Okay, we got the kickoff coming now, and this is going to be Chicago kicking off to Baltimore. So change our possession here, and a red jack is going to be a touchback. So Baltimore takes over again at their own 20. And 15 seconds off the clock. That's going to take us down to 2 minutes left in the first quarter. So kick is here. Baltimore is defending this side of the field. I sort of marked that here just to kind of keep track of which direction everybody's going. And I don't switch at the quarters or anything like that. I just kind of keep it consistent throughout the game. I'm just trying to track yardage here, really. So 1st down and 10 for the Ravens. We have a jack of spades that goes to the Bears, and so that's going to be a passing defense. So we pull off of our defense card. We go to their pass chart. 5 of hearts on the defense is an incomplete pass. Takes 15 seconds, pulls up, takes a 2nd down and 10. A 9 of clubs is going to be another pass to the defense. It's going to be a good play here. So a red king is going to be an 8 +8. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 brings up 3rd down and 2 for the Ravens. This is going to be another rush to the defense. See if the defense holds or not. And red 9 on a rushing play is going to be a +4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So it'll be 1st and 10 at the Ravens 32. We have 45 seconds left in the period. This is going to be another pass to the Chicago defense. A 4 to the defense is going to be incomplete. So it brings up 2nd down and 10. Got another rush to the defense. So defense getting a lot of play here. And a red queen is going to be +8. So that's going to take us to the 40. It's going to bring up 3rd down and 2, and that will send us into the second quarter. So 15 minutes left in the quarter as we begin the second. 15 minutes left in the half, I guess. So it is 3rd down and 2 for the Ravens. This is going to be a rush to the offense. 10 should be good, and that's going to be a 5-yard gain. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 out to their own 45. 14.5 minutes left. 1st and 10 for the Ravens. It's going to be a pass to Baltimore, and a good one, as a black queen is going to be a +14. So 10 11, 12, 13, 14. Takes it across midfield to the Chicago 41-yard line. Another pass from Baltimore, another good one, as we get a black king. That's going to be a plus 16, so another big gain. So 10, 20, minus 1, 2, 3, 4. Takes them down to the 24-yard line of the Bears. That's going to go to the defense. So a 2 of clubs is going to be a rushing play to the defense. Pretty good run here as we get a black king, and that's going to be a gain of 11. So 10, 11 takes it down to the Chicago 13. They can still get a first down without scoring. So 1st and 10 from the 13. A 10 is going to be a pass to the offense. A 2 of hearts is going to be a killer. So inside the red zone, they commit the turnover. Actually, I'm counting these as incomplete. I'm sorry. I have to go back and rethink my interceptions because there's already one for the defense, which gives them a it's about a 2%, which is about average, or the better teams are going to be around 2%, I guess. Average, I think, is like 2.6 or something, 2.7 for the league. So terrible teams with a 3 or 4%, I'm going to give 2 opportunities for interceptions, but sort of average teams. And I haven't gone back and reconfigured these teams, so I'm just giving an incompletion on the offensive side. The interceptions will come on the defense. So that'll be an incomplete pass. Brings up 2nd and 10. Take off 15 seconds. We get a queen. That's going to be another pass to the offense. We get an 8 of hearts, and that's going to be a plus 7. So 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 brings it down to the 6-yard line. So 3rd and 3 for Baltimore. A 9 of hearts is going to be another pass. That goes to the offense. And 8 of spades is going to be plus 8. So we're at the 6, so that's going to be a touchdown from 6 yards. So TD pass, 6 yards, and that takes off 2 minutes. Now let's go ahead and kick the field goal. The extra points, we automatically go from number 1. It says here extra points, use column 1. It's a jack, so the extra point is good, and that is we've got 2 minutes here, and then 4 minutes and 15 seconds, so 6:15 on that drive. That's a pretty good drive there, as Baltimore takes a 14-6 lead on the Bears on the road. So we're going to kick off from this side. Okay, we got our kickoff coming to the Bears, and this will be Baltimore kicking off to Chicago. We're fully in the second period now. Second quarter. So an 8, red 8 is going to be another touchback. So Chicago takes over at their 20, and they will take over with 11.5 minutes left in the quarter. You can see the game moves pretty quickly. Got here, this will be 1st and 10. And that's the point, is things move pretty quickly. Some things are generalized, some things are very contextualized to the team. I tried to make sure the things that were contextualized to the team are sort of the important factors that are going to separate the teams. Kicking and punting, kick returns, punting, some of the special team stuff. Most teams, there's not a lot of difference between them when you look at the numbers. So I try to look and be very discerning about where the differences lie. But certainly, every team is putting together a different kind of offense. So showing the different kinds of offense, you can tell Chicago is very heavy running the ball. Carolina is 50-50. Baltimore's actually a little less heavy than you would think with running the ball. With some of the other teams like the Chiefs or even the Eagles are a little bit heavier pass. I think Chiefs are about 60-62% pass. So, just trying to give the flavor of the teams as we go along. So Chicago 1st and 10 that's going to be a 9. A 9 is going to be a rush to the offense. And so that's going to be an 8. A black 8 is +6 on the run. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 2nd and 4 at the 34. A 2 of diamonds. So Chicago gives up quite a few sacks. So a 2 of diamonds is going to be a sack. Let's see what the distance is. A black 6 is a -4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. When we take 30 seconds off, this little thing gives you a little bit of a guide for how much time to take off for different plays. This is actually from an old version of a football game, but I think it's still applicable to this game because I was going to take 30 seconds off for each play anyway. So we have 3rd down and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 3rd and 8 to the Bears. This is going to be a pass to the Ravens defense. A 7, a black 7 is +5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That takes it to the 33. And we're going to get a punt here. Not going to go for that. So on punts for the offense, we use the punt. So a red jack is going to be a 55-yard punt. So we'll count that off. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. And 5 takes us here. So that is going to be the punt. And let's see if there's a return on the play. A 2 of clubs is going to be a big play on the return. So we go ahead and flip for the return team. We flip their card and we find our big plays for punting here. And so we look on the return side. It's a 10 of hearts, and a 10 of hearts is a muffed. It's a muff, and the offense recovers, so it's going to be at the spot of the catch. So huge play there as Chicago kicks it 55 yards, and then there's a muff. And so they're going to recover, and a punt is going to take off just 15 seconds. So that goes down to 9:45, which is like a minute 45. 14:06, and then Chicago is going to take over now at the Baltimore 12. So a huge play. They're going to take over with 9:45 left in the quarter. Huge play there to turn the field and turn the table. So Chicago will take over after the muffed play on the kick. They're going to take over at the 12. Okay, 1st and 10 for Chicago from the Baltimore 12 after the muffed punt. Chicago takes over. This is going to be a 4 to the defense, so a rushing play. And a red 3 is going to be for a -1. So nice play from the Baltimore defense. 9:15 left in the half, and it's going to be 2nd down and 11. An ace will be a pass to the defense. An 8, a black 8 is a +6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So down to the 7-yard line, and brings up 3rd down and 5 for the Bears. It's going to be another pass to the defense. And this is going to be a big one. Got a chance for a touchdown here. A red king is a 17, so that's going to be for a TD as Justin Fields throws it home from 6 yards out. So a TD pass, 6 yards for the Bears. Let's go ahead and kick the extra point. The Bears are a field goal 1, and that is definitely going to be good. And that takes us down to, I don't think I took the time off, so 8:15, that's 1 minute and 30 seconds. This is the time of possession for the drive. This is when they started. the time of the quarter when they started. So that's going to bring us to 14-13. Could have gone for 2 there, I guess, but early in the game, go ahead and kick the field goal. So Baltimore commits the muff on the punt, and that's going to cost them 7 points. All right, so this is going to be Chicago kicking off to Baltimore. And a 9 A black 9 is going to be a 61-yard kick, so that takes it down to the 4-yard line. So if you count it out, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, and 1, 2, 3, 4, or 60 and 1, takes it down to the 4. And on the return, we got a 10. A red 10 is going to be a 26-yard return. So 10, 20, 30, minus 1, 2, 3, 4. So it takes it out to the, so 26 plus 4 is 30, right? So that's correct. So it takes it out to the 30-yard line. Decent field position for Baltimore as they start at their own 30. That takes 15 seconds off. And we're going to be at the 8-minute mark of the quarter. My shuffling strategy is a couple of overhand shuffles and then 2 riffle shuffles. So that's what I've been doing. If you have a card shuffler, run it through a couple times is probably better. You can get those pretty inexpensively, $10 or $15 to do a card shuffler. This is going to be a pass to the defense. So this is a red queen, and that will be 15 yards. So nice pass there, 10. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. First down and 10 at the Baltimore 45. A 2 of clubs is going to be a rush to the defense. This is a 7. A red 7 is going to be plus 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Takes it to the 49-yard line. Brings up second down and 6 for Baltimore. We get a 6 of diamonds. That'll be a rush to the offense. And this could be a big play. So a black king is going to be plus 10. So it brings up first down and 10 as Baltimore crosses over the midfield mark into Chicago territory. 6 minutes left, 6.5 minutes left in the quarter. This will be a pass to the defense. A black 10 is going to be plus 7. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Takes the ball down to the Chicago 34-yard line. We get a 3 of spades. 3 of spades is going to be a rush to the defense. A 5, that'll be a plus 2. So that's going to bring up a 3rd and 1 situation for Baltimore. Got 5.5 minutes left in the half. This will be a pass as Baltimore drops back on the play action. And they catch Chicago here. This is going to be a 7-yard gain. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 down to the 25-yard line. Nice play from the Ravens offense as they have first and 10 from the Chicago 25. Dropping straight back is Lamar Jackson, and this is a 3. That's going to be an incompletion. So that'll be 15 seconds off. Second down and 10 for the Ravens. Another pass. This time off of the defense. We have a red 9, and that's going to be good for 9 yards. So it brings up 3rd and short again for the Ravens inside the red zone of the Bears. We get a 5 of diamonds is going to be a rushing play, and that's going to be for the offense. A black 8 is going to be a 6-yard gain, so nice gain there for the Ravens. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Makes it first and goal from the 10. Take our 30 seconds off. 3:45 left in the half. And Baltimore is knocking at the door. This is going to be a pass for the Ravens. A 5 is going to be incomplete. So that brings up second down and 10, or second and goal. A 2 of hearts is going to be a sack, and that's going to be a killer. As we find out how many yards. A black jack is going to be a minus 8. Oh, Jackson trying to make something happen. Does what you can't do, which is give up yards inside the red zone. Makes it 3rd down and 18. 3rd down and goal, I guess, but 18 to go. And this is going to be a running play to the Bears. A 10, a black 10 will be a plus 7. So they get back a little bit of that sack yardage, but the sack really kills the drive, and we're going to have a field goal attempt. And from the 11, that's going to be a, what is that, 28 yards. And so let's see. Baltimore is a field goal rating of 2, so we're looking in this second column here. It's an ace, and the kicker splits the uprights. That is good. Take 15 seconds off. Takes us down to 2:15. That drive was 5 minutes and 45 seconds. And the score is now 17-13 Baltimore. Chicago's going to get the ball back with an opportunity in the with 2 minutes left. So kicking off from this side. All right, we have our kickoff, and that's going to be Baltimore kicking off to Chicago. A black king is going to be a short kickoff, so that's down to the 7-yard line. So if you mark it out, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 plus minus 2 is down to the 7. Take our 15 seconds off. And on the return, could be a good return here. So black king is going to be a 33-yard return. So 10, 20, 30, and 1, 2, 3. So out to the 40. Really good field position for the Bears. At their own 40-yard line. They don't have to go too far to get into field goal range. They've got 2 minutes left. And if you look, all plays at 2 minutes, under 2 minutes in the second and fourth quarters are only going to be 15 seconds. So basically they're running a hurry up offense here, and each play is going to be a little bit quicker. So jack is going to be a pass to the defense, and this is a good one. That is a red queen, and that's a pickup of 15 yards. So 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 down to the Baltimore 45, 145 left in the half. This is going to be a running play to the offense. Not much of one. A black 3 is going to be a +2. So down to the 43-yard line, brings up 2nd and 8 for the Bears. A 2, that's going to be a killer, as that's a sack, and a red ace, only a sack of -1. So Fields steps up in the pocket. We were here. It should be -1. So 3rd down and 9 with 1 minute and 15 seconds. This drive in danger of fizzling out. It's going to be a pass to the defense, and that's going to be a big play opportunity for the defense. So we avoid the interception for now, but we'll see what the big play is. So the big play for a defense on a pass is over here, and so we can see what's going to happen. It's an ace, an interception, which is just a killer. And so we're going to have an interception, and it says draw 2 times 10 to figure out the yardage on that. I'm sorry, you draw a card and then you multiply it by 10. So 80 is definitely, that's going to be, excuse me. That's going to definitely be in the end zone for a touchback. So if we were somewhere down the field, and I haven't worked out that yet. That's not a great system yet to figure out, but we'll call it a touchback, and at the 20-yard line. So Fields was going for the touchdown, and that's going to be an interception. Baltimore's going to take over at their own 20 on the touchback, and so we're down to 1 minute. So that's 1 minute on the drive. 17-13 is our score, and that's just a backbreaker. So let's finish out the half. All right, so we will go ahead and finish out the half. I'm all shuffled up and ready to go. And Baltimore has the ball at their own 20. That's an 8 of diamonds, which is a rushing play to the offense. Really good one. So that's going to be a 10-yard gain. Takes it out to the 30, 45 seconds left in the half. This is going to be a pass play to the offense. A 5 is going to be an incompletion. Incompletions don't really kill you here, as everything is 15 seconds when you're inside of 2 minutes. You could always say, well, I'm running out the clock, and then just make the plays regular 30 seconds, and then just run the ball each time if you wanted to. We have a jack. That's going to be another pass, but you never know when you're going to hit on something. We got a 6. That's another incompletion. And let's go ahead and just run the ball out for the rest of the time. So when we call a play, I'm going to run a running play, and then we turn it over. It's a red card, so that running play is going to go to the offense. And then we'll flip again, and that's going to be a jack. A blackjack is a gain of 6 yards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and that will end our half. So they took over with 1 minute left, and this basically ran out the half, and that takes us down to not a 1,000-minute drive, but a 1 minute drive, and our halftime score is 17-13. In the second quarter, Baltimore scored 3 and Chicago scored 7. So at the half, it's 17-13, Baltimore at Chicago. This game was played in 2022, so that's why I chose it. And I have several teams here. You can see Carolina there. I played a game with them. Kansas City, Buffalo, and Philly. And then San Francisco, Arizona, and Atlanta. You can see Atlanta, pretty heavy rushing team. The Cardinals, a pretty heavy passing team. And then San Francisco, sort of an average split there. Carolina, really an average 50-50 kind of team. A little bit more passing with Buffalo, a lot more passing with Kansas City. So each team is sort of graded out. I went through all the numbers, and if you sort of look between them, you'll find some differences in the numbers. Like here, they're a little better. These guys are a better rushing defense than these. If you sort of look through the numbers, I think you're going to get more of an average over here. But most of these really good teams are not so different from one another. But you get to some of these other teams. These are all pretty good defensive teams. And trying to find some discernible. You see a -3 here. That means they're a really good rushing defense. So if they have some -2s and 3s, they're going to be much better. Same thing here. You get a couple -2s. Baltimore's got a really good rushing defense. So if you look closely, you can start to see the difference between the teams. I'm also going to try out some older teams. So maybe some teams from the 80s, maybe pull out some San Francisco 49ers or something like that, or the Cowboys from the 90s or something, and just see how they compare. Can I create team cards for them? And then how do they compare when I'm actually playing a game? Because I really want this to be something where I can create seasons from whenever we have statistics to be able to do that. Because I'm just using general play calling statistics. Sacks are going to be more difficult as you get to the older seasons, but hopefully there will be some sack numbers. And if not, we can go with sort of a general, we can go with some sort of generalization. I don't know why we got a little guy in here. Yeah, sorry, Nat. And then we have just generally passing yards per catch. You know, I'm trying to use some basic statistics in order to create these. So yards per attempt, yards per catch, and then completion percentage determines both the offense and the defensive completion percentage determines these completion numbers. And so we have only this many completions to get X amount of yards per catch. So that's how I sort of manipulate the numbers. If you look through some of the teams, like here, the yards per catch for the Panthers is more than the Ravens. You can see here they have some bigger plays as you go down through the numbers. They start with a lower number, and that's one of the ways you can know. So these guys start with a higher number than them, and these two are roughly equivalent, although a little bit more yards per catch out of the Bears. So just little subtle numbers like that. If you look at the numbers, they're just really subtle. There's 0.2 yards per catch difference between these different teams, especially the ones in the middle, from, you know, like 8 to 27. You know, there's not a lot of difference between those football teams. They have a different makeup. They have a different way of getting to where they get to, but there's not a whole lot of difference between them, which makes the NFL very exciting and very fun, and anybody can win on a given Sunday. So hopefully that is going to show in this game as well. But this game stands at halftime 17-13, and I don't know if I'll finish it out on camera, but hopefully this gives you a sense of the flow of the game and how quickly it plays. I will say there aren't a lot of penalties, although sometimes there's more penalties than others in a game, but probably not a heavy penalty game. We have a coffin corner punt, so if you ever find yourself, like, I don't know, down at the 38-yard line and it's 3rd down and 10 or 4th down and 10 and you want to kick, you don't want to go for it, but you don't want to try to kick a 55-yard field goal. 50-yard plus field goals have to go out of this last column here. So you still have a 40% chance of not making that. So it's actually a little less than 40%. But maybe you just want to try to drive the ball down, or you're at the 48-yard line. Maybe that's a better example. So you're just across midfield and you don't want to go for it. It's 4th down and 7, and you have a coffin corner punt. So you can potentially get them down to the 2-yard line. So wherever this goes out of bounds, or wherever this is, it goes out of bounds at that yard line. There's a potential for a block, or if it doesn't, if it comes down here, there's a potential for a bad play for the punt. So there's no return on a coffin corner punt. So it's either going to be a touchback, or you're going to shank one to the 38-yard line, or you're going to kick it down to the 2-yard line. Those are sort of your options there, and then it sort of goes down from that. So some different things I'm trying to think through: big plays, sacks. I've added that. I need an interception chart to determine like how far interceptions have gone. We have tons of different penalties, most of them sort of specific to things like passing, especially on the defense. You're going to have more pass interference on a passing play. There's no pass interference over here. But then you're going to get a horse collar, on the rush, and that's not going to show up over here. So, but you have a targeting on the pass. So I try to just make some different things. You won't get the same exact penalties on every single type of play. And these are really just, this is your footprint. You just need some way to keep track of the game and the score. And maybe this can be combined. I have a whole half a sheet over here. This is from an old no huddle version. So I could even transfer this over here and you would just have the one sheet like that. I find that doing it this way, just to keep track of major plays and things like that, goes pretty quickly. But obviously you're getting actual yardages. So if you wanted to go through and calculate everybody's rushing yards and passing yards, you could definitely do that. You're keeping track of time, number of plays, pass plays, rush plays, sacks, sack yardage, any big plays that happen, so fumbles, penalties, interceptions, even quarterback hurries, pass deflections, quarterback knockdowns. You can have a possibility of injury. So if you are keeping stats for individual players and you wanted to, and you hit a running back injury for the game, then you pull that first line running back out, you put the second line running back in, and then he's going to get those yardage for the rest of the game. Or if you have a rotation that you're doing, you can just pull one out of that rotation, pull your RB1. So a lot of different things are here, and a lot of different ways that I've just sort of put these hooks in there that you can, I've got fair catches and return yards and stuff like that, different types of touchbacks. You can keep track of those. Yeah, there's just a lot of parts to the game that you can choose to play as detailed or as not detailed as you want. I mean, there's a certain level of detail you got to go to just to play sort of the basic game like I'm playing now. But you can go as detailed as you want because there's a lot of sort of hooks in here. You can keep track of all your field goal statistics, including, yardage for field goals, which I'm keeping here. So it's basic, and it looks basic, and it plays quickly, but you can get pretty deep pretty quick, depending on how much time you want to take and how many stats you want to keep, and how good your sort of score sheet is at keeping those stats. So that is the game. I'm calling it quick play football because it's using sort of the same quick play dynamic as quick play baseball, and it feels like it's in a similar vein. It's got a lot more moving parts to it than quick play baseball does, and it doesn't have the situation cards, which I guess could be added. Would be an interesting wrinkle for the drive to set up what happens for the drive, and then that might be an addition. If anybody wants that, put that in the comments, and I can create lean it more toward like the quick play situation, where per drive you draw a situation card and then you're sort of put into that situation for the drive and then you play it out. That might be kind of a fun one to do. And if you have any other questions or comments about the game, suggestions about how to make it better, I think this is going to be sort of the baseline of the game. It's not going to be your traditional you pick a play, I pick a play, and then we see how those work out against each other like a simulation. It's more of in a middle space between find out a score, roll and find a score, and full on I'm choosing the players on the field and I'm choosing the exact kind of play and all that kind of stuff. I've tried to make that game and I'm not good at it. So I'm kind of quitting for now. So I'm going to something that I know how to do, because football is really wearing me out, man. It's been a year or two and I'm trying to figure it out. I'm just not able to figure out like a hardcore simulation like that. And God bless the people who do, because it's just not for me, I guess. And so I'm trying to create something in the middle that can play quicker, but still gives you all the flavor of a football game. So hopefully this will appeal to some people. And I'll try to get these, I'll try to get a demo set out with these teams. You would get 9. That's 9 teams right there. Maybe I try to do some historic teams, just so you can play with some historic teams, and maybe put out 6 or 9 historic teams. There's still more room to sort of squish these down and condense them. I'll probably leave a blank space here because I can't give you the logos, but I just thought it would be nice, like a nice touch to have the logos on there. You can get those online at sportslogos.net. I mean, there's lots of different places that you can sort of download and use logos for your own personal sets. But you can see there's a lot of room here, like space wise, that we can sort of condense this down, maybe get 4 on a page, and you'd be able to cut these out. And my intention is that you could cut them out and then you could create sort of a trifold, if it would work out well. I don't know, like a trifold of this, and then each team, each team would take up about this amount. If I squish them down, I might be able to stretch them in terms of their height so that they are, I'd like to get them to the size of a card if I could, similar to this. This is from the quick play game, and it's the size of a playing card, and then it literally just can go in there with the cards. That way you could put a couple of teams in with your cards, take it as a travel set, then all you got to do is keep this around, and trying to work on some portability as well, like what the game final product is going to look like and what it's going to play like and feel like. I don't know. Oh, that's not too bad, huh? That's almost right. So maybe we do have it if we go horizontal instead of vertical. So put this here like this, and then you can fold them this way. So maybe that's an option. So it's almost correct. So pretty pretty close to right. A little short of that. So we'll check it out and we'll see how that goes, and try to make a portable game as well. So quick play football. I will get a demo set out as quickly as I can when I feel like it's in a place where people can play it and get you 85% of the way, 90% of the way there, and maybe there's 10% left in the game that can be changed or needs to be changed. But to me, this feels like a football game when I look at it. Baltimore at Chicago, two middling teams. I mean, Chicago's sort of on the downside, but had a good defense. Had a pretty good defense. And so, yeah, we'll see how it goes. Baltimore with a very good defense. And let me know what you think in the comments section below. And again, my shuffle strategy is like this. I just do a couple of overhand shuffles like this. So just do that a couple times, and then I do a couple of riffle shuffles. So this is the riffle, like that, and then just do that a couple of times each possession. So every time the ball flips the possession, sometimes when there's only been one card drawn, I won't go through all that. I'll just stuff it, in the bottom. I'll just stuff it down and just keep playing without shuffling at all. So 2 decks, one for the offense, one for the defense. If you're playing 2-player, obviously each person has a deck. One person is going to be on offense at a time. And so just thinking through the game, okay, on a kickoff, that would be the offensive team. The return would be the defensive team. On a punt, the punt would be the offensive team. The return would be the defensive team. So just thinking through sort of those things. If the defense rolls or flips a card and lands on a big play, and the big play on the defensive side is a penalty, then it's going to be the offense drawing for the penalty. And then you'll look on the offensive side, because it doesn't make sense that the defense would get a big play and the big play would be a penalty on them. The penalty is on the offense. So the penalties are going to be the opposite team. So if you draw a penalty here on a big play, then that would be the defensive team drawing against whatever kind of play it is. So if it's a penalty here, like a jack of hearts on a rushing play, then it would be a defense on the rush. A 6 of diamonds. 6 is going to be encroachment. So it's going to be plus 5 yards. The play is not run. And then you attack on 5 yards, you replay the down. So penalties are pretty basic and pretty simple. You can make them as complex as you want, but they're pretty basic and simple and cut and dry. So penalties are there. There's no penalties while the play is going. So you roll for the penalty and you take that from the line of scrimmage. So I've tried to simplify that just a little bit, because it can get pretty complicated pretty quickly with the penalties. And you're going to need some way to keep track of yardage and all that kind of stuff. You can do that here on a sheet of paper, which I've done before, or you can use something like this if you have that from another game, or if you have it from my games, you can use this as well. You're just keeping track of time 30 seconds at a time, or 15 seconds. So 15 seconds for incomplete passes, punts, kickoffs, and field goals. 30 seconds you take off for rushing plays, completed passes, sacks, and interceptions. So just thinking about a real game and how much time would go off the clock will help you. And then any plays under 2 minutes in the second and fourth quarters. So at the end of a half, at the end of a game, those are going to go into 15-second increments. So this will be included with the game whenever I release it. So you'll have a way to, you won't have to provide your own. You can use mine if you want to. But obviously there are other games with more extensive components, more extensive sort of outline components that you can bring into the game. Stuff like this would be fine. So I will get that out as soon as I can. If you have any questions or comments, leave them down in the comments section below. I will be transitioning this channel. I'm working on the website now for a single website for all of my games. There's going to be some new pricing models that you'll be able to take advantage of, more than just buy a season or buy a set. I'm going to move into some subscription models and see if that's something that people would be interested in. Basically, you would pay a pretty low monthly price, and then you would get access to everything, either for that game, or I'm going to have sort of an all-inclusive package where you can pay each month, and you'll have access to literally everything that I've ever made. And you can play any of my games, and you can download them and get them and play them. The first one up that I've made so far is Up-Tempo Basketball, so you'll be able to pay $1.99 a month and get access to every single Up-Tempo season that I've ever made. And it will qualify, as long as you're a subscriber, you'll be able to get every single season that comes out in the future, including any sort of variants that I do. I've been working on an NCAA version for a long time, so once the NCAA versions come out, you'll have access to that. If I ever do WNBA or some sort of FIBA, I don't know what kind of stats are out there for that, but maybe there's enough stats to do international basketball or international leagues. I know there's an international league in China. There's international leagues in Europe. So maybe the opportunity to be able to play some of those players as well. So any leagues that come out in the future, you'll have access to those. You'll be able to download those seasons. And one of the cool things I'm thinking about with that is, right now, if you want to do kind of cross-era play, you want to play an 80s season against, let's say, a 2000 season, or against the regular season that just happened, you'll have to buy two different sets. But if you get into the subscription package, you'll be able to download any of those teams that you want to, be able to play them against each other, and you'll just be paying that one price per month. So for the price of, one and a quarter seasons, 1 1/3 seasons, you'll have access to everything. So what this does is it helps to even out the income stream for me. So it's a more steady income stream for the developer. And what that does is just gives more incentive, flexibility to continue to create. And it doesn't make the payments quite so few and far between. And also, it's a great way for you to be able to support the game. $2 a month, I think most people can probably swing that to get access to everything in the game. It'll obviously be more than that if you want to be a supporter of all of my games, but it's still going to be pretty reasonable compared to going through and purchasing all my games. So it's a new world. It's a new world, and we need new models of being able to support creatives. I don't necessarily want to go the Patreon way. I've not heard great things about Patreon, and I've looked into it, and it's just not the only way that you can do it now. I can use the company I'm using to set up a subscription model service for different bundles of games. I can put all of my basketball games together. I can put all of my baseball games together, so I can do different types of bundles and subscriptions that you could get into. And if you just wanted to subscribe to all my baseball games, I'm hoping to make that sort of thing available. Maybe you're not interested in golf or football or basketball or whatever, but if you're interested in everything, then I'll try to put together an everything inclusive package as well. You'll still be able to buy everything by the season. Subscription model is not going to be the only way, but it will be an extra way that you'll be able to support me as a designer, to support this creative endeavor. It's a lot of time and effort. You can see whenever I'm posting things how long it takes to get from, okay, here's a concept. Just know that you're seeing the concept 6 weeks after I started thinking about it and drawing up plans and building out prototypes. I don't bring you anything and put anything on the table to show you that I can't play a full game of. So by that time it's been tested. By that time I've gone through the process of making sure that it's reasonable, statistically reasonable, and also in terms of gameplay, very reasonable. So, and is it digestible? Is it reproducible? Like, there are different things I have to think about. And I don't think about those things after I show everybody. I think about those things before I show everybody. So there were lots of different things here that are secondary, like sacks, and I can just kind of make some -5. It's probably an average, and so I can just throw that in there while I'm in development. But there really does need to be some variation in the sack numbers. So lots of things have to be kind of thought through as you play it. You figure out what's missing and what needs to be added. You can see some things are getting cut off here at the top. I had to go through and fix that. So now the margins are correct, where everything will show if you put a logo up in here into this section. And yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited for the first time. Maybe for the second time. I was really excited about advanced stats football, and now I went through and tried to create more teams. And then I got less excited. Every time I create a football team or a football game, that's the part I get to, and I'm just like, I'm less excited about the game. Everybody is excited about it, but not me, because I'm looking forward to having to create seasons, and I just am totally unmotivated to do it. I'm sorry. I know some other game concepts are really cool, and I love them. I love the concept. I love like getting down into the nitty gritty actually of the simulating and using advanced stats and stuff like that, but I can't reliably get those stats and pull them and put them into something that's easily reproducible. So this game is done by hand as well, but at least at least I can compile the data and then easily just sort of go through and create new seasons. So and then this is just a single chart that's sort of generalized, and then everything on these cards is what's specific to the team. So really these are the only cards that I need to make after I've done this. So these might need to be contextualized, like penalties, if we're doing something from the 1970s and maybe penalties were a little bit different. They've changed over time. But that's really one of the only things I can kind of think of. Most of these numbers are probably staying pretty even throughout NFL history. So that's a little backstory. Maybe more than you wanted to hear, maybe not. That's kind of where I'm going. I never expected this to go beyond on-base baseball, but it has gone far beyond just the single game. So now I have to think about how can I bring all these different games together under one umbrella roof, and that that one single umbrella is going to be called the Clark and Addison Gaming Company. And so that's going to be going into the future, where all of my games are brought together, the Clark and Addison Gaming Company. So there'll be more to come on that. There'll be a website. I've already got logos and some branding done for that, and just putting together bringing all the games together under one website. All the URLs are still going to work. They're just going to go to a different page on a different website, but it's going to look and feel pretty similar to what we had before. It's just going to be everything is brought together. So now all my statistics, my analytics for the website, all of my payment options, coupons, sales, all that kind of stuff is going to be sort of under one roof, as opposed to me having to go through each individual website and decide, okay, it's 15% off, and so having to go through all of that and make those changes is quite a bit of work for me that just doesn't need to happen necessarily, because I can put it all together in one place. I can do blogs, I can do new releases. That way everybody only has to really figure out going to one place in order to be able to find more information. If anybody in the media wants to be able to reach out to me or contact me or learn more, there'll be a single page, a single website that they can go to. So a lot of things you learn as you go along. But thank you for everybody who supported all of my games. I've been doing this now for since 2020-ish, 2019, 2020. So about 3 years, almost 3 years. And so many people have helped. So many people have supported the games by making purchases, by making suggestions, by sharing my content, by getting excited about the games. I'm super thankful for that. We've had a little bit of media exposure within the hobby itself, and so that's been really great. Very thankful to any YouTubers who play my games or who've had me on for an interview. Jeff Giordano with the Appa Football Club has had me on. We had the cover story for the Uptempo Basketball in SportsCenter magazine. So just a lot of different things have happened along the way, and very thankful for all of it. Hopefully, if you appreciate and like what I'm doing, that you'll just share it with your community, tell others when they're asking for what's a new baseball game or what's a good game that you've tried, just sharing, hey, I played this recently, really fun, really exciting, or, the game of dice baseball has 20 seasons, or quick play baseball has 3 different game modes and all of these different players that you get right out of the box, and a full lifetime worth of players in one set that you can buy for quick play baseball. So just a lot of things going on and a lot of opportunities and availability when we bring that together. Maybe some discoverability will happen. People are looking for one game and they find, oh my gosh, there's a lot of other games here. But as each year goes by, I'm racking up more and more games that are viable and good. I'm getting better at creating them and deciding, kind of what is a good game, and scrapping the stuff that doesn't work and bringing in the stuff that does. And so hopefully it's a beautiful marriage in the industry, trying to do some different things, trying to do some new things in an old hobby. And hopefully it's reaching out to some people, and you're enjoying the kinds of things that I'm doing. So if you are, jump on the train, and I really appreciate, everything that you're doing. It's a help. But all right, I think that's it from here. So 17-13 is our score at the half. The Ravens over the Bears. This is a 2022 game in the NFL, so from last season. And hopefully this is going to be out. I keep promising a football game by training camp. I'm trying. This is pretty close. So hopefully I'll be able to push this out the door, and you'll be able to play some football, even if you want to just use the teams from last year to play for this year. I don't have any advanced statistics going forward like I do with baseball. There's no projections as far as I know, so I can't project the season for this year, but you certainly could use these teams. They're pretty close to last year, or to what's coming, so they're probably going to be pretty close to what the teams are going to be for this season. If you want to play 5 years back with these, maybe they're a little bit different, but as far as one season to another season, a lot of these NFL teams don't really change their identity because it's wrapped up in their coaches, not necessarily in their players. So it does happen that they change like that, but not very often. So you can conceivably use this from one year to another. So hopefully that'll be out and you can play that and get your hands on it. All right, I think that's it from me. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you again next time.